It is widely believed that the first European to chart the east coast of Australia was Captain James Cook in 1770.
We've got a series of artefacts that have been found in the Northern Territory that we call the Territory Treasures. And by that we mean artefacts that really we can probably never know how they came to be here. The Kilwa coins is one example. Another is the Dundee Beach swivel gun. It's a very mysterious object. The British used to call these swivel guns the murderer because they can have a devastating effect on populations. At least 300 years ago, it was dropped or lost by unknown means on the beach at Dundee Beach, where a young boy called Chris Dukas found it.
We dated the sand trapped in the barrel to about 250 years ago. It doesn't date when the Portuguese were there or when they lost the gun, but we know that the gun was sitting on the sea floor for 250 years at least before it was found by Christopher Dukas in 2010. The other reason we know it's Portuguese is that Professor John Woodhead at the University of Melbourne has undertaken lead isotope analysis on the bronze, and he was able to match the ore used to an ore in Andalusia in Spain. So we know that this is a Portuguese swivel gun lost during the Portuguese mapping and exploration of Australia early in the 16th century.
The Dundee Beach is an hour or so south of Darwin. This was found near a freshwater resource close to the sea. As you see, it is a bronze alloy, and it spent a lot of time in the sea, hence the abrasion. So what I've done to explain how it works is make up the missing parts. This is the thunder mug. This contains the charge and the projectile. So the powder goes in there, the shot, coral, broken glass, whatever, a plug, a tampion, and that is inserted into the breech. It's retained by this drift, and it's fired by putting, like a normal cannon, by putting a bit of powder over the hole there and igniting it. The weapon is suspended on a gimbal, a yoke. This is a 3D printed replica of this. So that goes in the gunnel, and the gun is traversed, again, elevation, by using this tiller in the rear end like so. This is on, as I said, the gunnels of the ship, either side of the bridge, and often many of them. So, but if you were being boarded, you could also fire at close range like a shotgun. Very destructive weapon which would wound and maim, hence its name, the murderer. It's a vast improvement on the standard muzzle loading type of small cannon. The earliest ones we've had of these are from the Ming Dynasty, so 14th century, and the Portuguese earliest examples on the Esmeralda around 1500. They say it's used for defending the ship, for controlling unruly crew, and would be very useful to take ashore at places of fresh water and used for wild fowling to get geese and ducks. It's a very, very useful piece of kit, and they were often on the Casson prows, shorter versions, and very rapidly became cast in iron.
This coin is what has brought us all here today. This is a Kilwa coin. It's about 900 years old, from the Sultanate of Kilwa in what is now Tanzania. So 900 years ago, these were made in southern Africa, and then somehow, by processes that we don't know, 5 of these coins came to be in the Northern Territory. 500 miles from here, on the Wessel Islands, 5 of these coins were discovered during World War II by a soldier called Maury Eisenberg. And for the last 13 years, our team, known as the Past Masters, have been trying to work out by what means did they come to Australia.
One of the most dramatic events in Australian military history happened in February 1943, when a Japanese float plane came out of the sun and sank the HMAS Patricia Cam off Marchinbar Island in the Wessels Group.
So in 2013, the Past Masters were working up in northeast Arnhem Land. We were working on the ancient Kilwa coins project up there. And on our last day working on that project, we were on a beach near where the coins were found back in World War II. We came across this piece of timber right on the strand line at the top of the tide. And we believe it is the remnant of the wreck of the Patricia Cam, and she sank, killing 2 men on the ship, one Yolngu, one Ballanda, an Aboriginal person and a white person.
This is the ship's knee that we believe to be from HMS Patricia Cam. The knee is a basic piece of engineering or naval engineering architecture, and you'll find dozens and dozens of them on old vessels. Perhaps the best place to see them is in cathedrals or old churches, because the roofs are built in the same way, using these knee braces, hence the term nave, navalis. So this knee is, I say, trunk and root. It's the strongest bit. They're normally trunk and branch. So this would be normally used in the bow or on the stern of the vessels. Under here there are voids. So whilst it looks substantial, it is fatally flawed. It has been used to line the hold of the vessel, which was a collier. So the hold needs to be lined. The boarding would sit here. This would be up against the bulkhead of the ship, side of the ship, and these are pinned in that fashion. It's been chamfered there to accommodate the side of the ship where it comes inwards towards the bow. That presents this face on the inner side of the ship. So when the bomb went off in the hold, so it came through the planking that covers the hold, exploded in the hold, so we'd expect the damage to be on this side and the shrapnel. These fixings are iron bolts. They've been hot dipped to galvanise them and bespoke fitted. At the back of the piece, there is a oxidisation which is white, and they have come to a central sharp point.
But because this was right in the Goldilocks zone on the beach, right at the top of the tide, well distant from any marine activity, but also distant from the fires of the landscape, it has remained there for maybe 50 years on the beach. The Patricia Cam remains unlocated and unrecognised out in the Commonwealth records, and the Commonwealth Grave Commission doesn't know where it is.